Hey, good evening. It's Monday night here in River West at riverwestradio.com, found at 824 East Center Street, River West neighborhood of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, deeply ensconced inside of River West Film and Video. All kinds of the usual suspects of nothing in there.
I didn't mean to interrupt your welcoming.
Is that better?
There we go, much better.
Okay. No worries. I don't know if there's some external settings on the unit there because no?
Nah,
No. All right.
that should be good.
Okay. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Well, you're listening to Extemporadio on riverwestradio.com. Normally, this is a program that features myself, Brendan O'Day, and Sam Caban. Sam is off tonight. And sitting in for Sam Caban is the amiable, affable, and otherwise all-round jovial guy, Jeff Lampton, having a hard time keeping that one down. Jeff Lampton's here tonight. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Brendan, thank you for having me.
Very nice to have you here.
Hello to all three people listening.
I don't even know if we're that big yet.
Oh, we don't even have three people yet?
I don't know if we're at 3 right now.
Okay.
Thanks to those that have tuned in tonight. We appreciate you coming along. And we actually end up getting a bunch of listeners on. It's kind of like a podcast. It gets saved, and then people can listen to it later. And,
okay.
We actually get quite a few listeners back that way, which is surprising to me.
So in a way, this will be like time travel because they'll be listening to this past broadcast in another time.
Yeah, I actually like specifically mentioning things that are going to expire before the end of today. So anybody that finds out about something, they're usually kind of pissed. I always find that as the inducement to tune in sooner. And
Russ Darrow Kia and Nissan will be giving away free Kias today.
Exactly.
Today only at
until 7:25 p.m. Monday, June 25th.
Hurry
now.
And if you get there in time, they will also give you a free home.
That's right.
A suitload of cash, suitcase full of cash.
I thought it was just like a suit, like you got like a Brooks Brothers suit, every pocket just stuff. Or it's like the guy that used to sell the watches out of the trench coat that had all the pockets in it. Yeah.
It's actually like that Matthew Tedesco or Lesko.
Matthew Lesko.
Yeah, this the suit with question marks. Yeah, it's now made of.
Why are you so crazy? Why are you so crazy, Matthew Lesko?
I can help you get money. I can help you get a government grant on how to study dolphins' masturbating techniques. And that's
sure, whatever. Yeah, that'll
I'll
work.
do it for free, but if the government wants to pay me, that's
if they
great.
want to throw a few bucks my way, give me the opportunity to masturbate the average dolphin.
I'd love to see how Flipper rubs one out.
Yeah,
and
right, there you go.
Some dolphin porn.
There you go. And there we go. Already pushing the
masturbation.
The community standards decency clause of the FCC, though they did just have a big ruling and have seriously relaxed a bunch of FCC rulings. The most significant of which is when you have someone who's not a licensed broadcaster just appearing on a program, and it's called the utterance rule, where the most notable one recently was Bono and The Edge at the Grammys,
right? When
The Edge said the F word. And,
which F word would that be? Because there's a couple now.
I can't say it because I'm a licensed FCC broadcaster.
Rhymes with duck.
Yeah, exactly. So he said that just as a matter of his enthusiasm for the moment, and that was facing a $340,000 fine. CBS was facing for that. For saying one word, which tells you if that doesn't give you enough indication that government is running amok and just absolutely out of control, that they feel that without any substantiation or any review process, they can go it's worth about, I'd say about 335, 340. What do you think?
Wait, what's the current value of the F word
exactly.
now?
Yeah, that's awfully nice of them. Two sons again. So yeah, that's a problem. So there are those things where if you have the crazy homeless guy on and he just goes crazy and starts saying things, you're not you don't risk your financial viability.
Oh, well, in that case, allow me to say a few words. I'm covered by that, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, as a fill-in host, I think you end up falling under my license. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a license for
I
this?
do.
You
Yeah,
do?
I have an FCC license that is now 22 years old, 21 years old.
But you don't need a license to do this radio program at this particular time since it's not
Correct.
broadcast.
At this moment in time, but what people will ultimately have to do is apply for and get an FCC license. So
Basically, podcasts have become like the ham radio of the new millennium.
yeah, without the annoyance of if it's a cloudy, windy day, your
Right.
ham signal goes to heck, and
But you might lose your internet signal, so...
you could. So there's a comparable loss percentage. I'm
Or
sure.
if you're a broke bum like me sitting at McDonald's getting on the internet, they kick you off regularly, so you have to keep going back on.
Yeah, you get about 2 hours on there, right? I would strongly suggest if you're thinking about setting up an internet-based production facility and podcasting situation, strongly encourage you to look outside of McDonald's as your base of operations. But hey, we got to
there goes that
gotta start
dream,
small. You got to
right?
start small.
That
There's always room to grow if you start in the McDonald's. Someday you could move up to the Starbucks.
That's how Howard Stern got started. You know,
I got started working in a McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah, broadcasting at a McDonald's. Sure.
Didn't you hear before it was Jackie Martling the joke man? It was Ronald McDonald, the ranter,
Oh, yeah, sure. I
and
suppose.
go off. And Grimace was great on there too.
Wow.
Except he had a heroin problem, Grimace. So that's why he was actually purplish blue.
Oh yeah, sure.
Kept overdosing.
Never quite got that under control. That's unfortunate for the Grim.
It is
Sorry about that.
for the
For him and his family. I feel sorry. It's mostly the children, that we feel bad for. So
the little grim eye there.
yeah, exactly.
I like this over across the street. Can you see that from here? The
Yeah.
coming soon River West Window and Glass and General Store.
Yes.
You could get a window, you could get some glass, and you can get a...
You might be able to
Candy
get
bar.
some. I was thinking maybe you could get some cornmeal to make yourself a little cone bread, and maybe you could probably buy some burlap to make yourself a little bit of an outfit.
Or a burlap sack in case you need to rob a bank with the little dollar sign on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think you just buy a little bit of India ink after you've used your sack of potatoes that came in the burlap sack that you bought at the general store. Where you buy your potatoes in 50-pound bags.
And you can use the potato as an incendiary device to help you rob the bank in case you want to use explosives of some sort. Because
Sure.
potatoes, they produce electricity, and you can hook that up to a...
Sure.
But we probably shouldn't talk about how to rob a bank with a potato.
Yeah, that's an interesting turn that the general store discussion took, was suddenly immediately going to bank robbery. Hey, but it's all right.
Your
There's
fault.
nothing
You
wrong with
started
that.
with the burlap sack. Quick association. I mean,
You actually said the dollar sign on the burlap sack first.
well, burlap sack. First thing I think of is bank robbers.
Is bank robbery?
Yeah.
So does that then lead you to Gene Simmons and that silly dollar sign thing with the sack thing that he trademarked? That's his thing now.
What?
Yeah, that Kiss logo, the Kiss. He's got this thing for Gene Simmons. It's a bag with a dollar sign on it, and he's trademarked that. And he trademarked it like a decade ago at least. And that's his thing.
I hate to bring up stereotypes,
No, you love to bring up stereotypes, you mean.
but L'Chaim, or what's his
yeah,
name? What's L'Chaim? His real name, L'Chaim?
No, L'chaim is a greeting in...
I think that's his name too. His real name,
Oh.
his Jewish
Oh,
name,
his-
because
his-
he was,
given name.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Gene Simmons
let's
is.
Google it.
I don't know. Let's see if we can
L'Chaim or
find it.
Mikhaim or
Michael? I don't know. Gene Simmons is that douchebag from the bass player with the long tongue from Kiss. In case you're not totally up on the and he was that guy before he was the guy who started starring on an E! Entertainment television
Family
show called
Jewels.
The Family Jewels. So, yeah, guy's a
I heard he trademarked kiss too, just the actual physical action. Every time somebody kisses somebody, he gets a royalty.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. That wouldn't be too big of a stretch, I'm sure. But Chaim Weitz.
Chaim Weitz.
Chaim Weitz is his Hebrew given name. Nothing wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but but he.
There's nothing wrong with Jews. There's nothing wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with Jews. Mel Karmazin over there at Sirius XM. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. Yeah, I'm trying to find the big. Not seeing anything about the stupid bag thing, money bags. It's probably in here. It's a long thing, but
I think I'm gonna get a dollar sign tattooed on my scrotum. Or no, actually my sack. You know?
no, I think you should.
Yeah.
I think that would.
Not for the hack joke that, because she likes to blow my money, but just you can say that on radio.
You can too. Absolutely.
That's not bad, right?
That is absolutely fine.
Okay.
Absolutely fine. I'll defend that till the end.
If there are things I can't say, just let me know after I say
After
them that
you
I
said
can't
them?
say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That'll be fun.
I love the FCC. I think they're a great organization or great government intrusive. They look out for us. They care.
Yeah, sure they do.
Because we all know that after Bono said that word, the devastation that was caused throughout the country.
Oh my
because of
gosh!
it.
Small children around the world, around the country, their ears collapsed. Their ability to study and learn their ABCs just simply went out the window. More devastation was wrought by that one moment in time than I think in all of in any rant by Mike Goucher on a Sunday night on. Now that's a subversive character.
We all know how much Mike Goucher loves to rant.
There's a subversive character, that Mike Goucher guy. Just trying to stir things up here on local radio in Milwaukee. Now that guy gets people in trouble.
I did the Yacht Club, that Love
Comedy?
of Laughter comedy.
Yeah.
And I was asked not to use the three majors, which would be uck, unt, and ak. Right.
Okay.
And kind of like I pointed out the other day.
Not it.
What's that?
Not it.
No, I was told I could use it.
Wow.
Yeah, just not uck, ak, or unt.
I got it. Yeah.
And like I pointed out the other day, it's ironic that those are the initials of the FCC.
Yeah. Right.
The three majors that they don't want you to say on the radio or television are the three.
Yeah, that make up their initials. Sure, that makes sense. It's interesting you mentioned the Love of Laughter Club. Their president came to an open mic last night.
Did he?
In an attempt to recruit people to their state fair show.
Right.
And I find it interesting because I've now been asked by 5 different people from that organization to participate in that event, and I initially I set forth the terms under which I would participate, and that was back in probably April when Rick Phelps had contacted me and asked directly, and I didn't think my request was all that. I didn't think it was a big deal. I certainly didn't think it was anything that was
well, can they
excessive.
find a two-headed person with an oral fetish? I mean, is that the problem that they can't request it, or?
Yeah, right. No, it was a case of I had asked for 2 tickets so I could bring somebody with and use the time of showing up and paying parking at State Fair or whatever. A parking pass because I didn't want to pay the parking, and 2 dinners from the providing venue, which if you've ever stood around there at the end of the night and seen how much food they just throw away, they could give away 20 dinners to every person participating. And I said, my clincher was, and they need to make a donation to the Love of Laughter Comedy Club, the Love of Laughter Toastmaster Club.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't have to be in my name, but if I'm going to do time, if I'm going to go somewhere and do time, it's either going to be in the form of a benefit where the beneficiary of the event gets all the money from the event, and then my time was donated in terms of helping them.
Correct.
Or in the case of a regular show, I got to get paid for my time. Now, I might choose to do a door deal. I might choose to do a straight deal with the bar or the venue. If it's a club situation, it's a multiple night kind of a thing. There's got to be some compensation for the work that we do. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we're both comedians here. And routinely comedians are just marginalized and abused and considered to be non-performers, and anybody can do it, it's so easy, whatever. So I just said to Rick, these are the things I need: 2 tickets, parking pass, 2 dinners, and a donation of some kind made to Love of Laughter for my participation. Again, doesn't need to be in my name. About 10 seconds of silence on the phone, and Rick comes back with, we could probably get you the 2 dinners. I said, Rick, this isn't a negotiation. We're not negotiating a 5-picture HBO appearance deal here, my friend. This is the terms. These are the minimum terms under which I will appear. If you say that again, I'm going to say the donation needs to be a minimum of $500. You can't say, I think I can get you the second dinner. I know you can get me the second dinner. That's not going to be a problem. They chuck out food every night. And no disrespect to pitches, but in those conditions, working in a tiny little kitchen on the state fairgrounds, I'll be real honest, the food at their restaurant is way better than the food that they serve at state fair. Sorry, everybody, that's the truth.
I've never had either.
It's kind of funny. I actually shucked out 2 plates of it the first year I was there because it was just inedible. I just kept switching dishes until I found something that didn't taste horrible. And I think the problem was I was there on the second weekend, and I don't know when they changed the oil in their fryers.
Right, 2-week-old
like
food
that.
is horrible usually.
Well,
I think general rule of thumb.
I mean, you think about how much stuff has been pumped through those deep fryers, and it's just burned oil, and it tastes terrible, and so I don't know when exactly they changed their oils, but it certainly didn't taste fresh and wasn't really a palatable experience. Super great people, very nice, awesome staff. But for them to get an hour and a half of comedians to go up there and perform and not pay them anything except a dinner is what Pitch's cost was, because I come to find out later that the Love of Laughter Club was paying for the tickets to get the people in. Oh. It's like, wow, they're not even... So... And so what we end up doing while you're there, you're competing with a canvas or vinyl divider with 3 bands right around and behind you. And it's 5-ish in the evening. It's about the worst possible. It's bright sunlight. It's just like the worst possible time to do a comedy show. There's small children running about. The crowd is very much a transitional crowd of diners. It's just, there's nothing about it that says, yeah, this is an awesome place for comedy. So Rich asked me again last night, and I just said, well, I'd like to say that I'd love to do it, but I've already, told Rick the conditions under which I'd do it. But I've now been booked for both of those weekends, so I have the plausible deniability of saying, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to be in town. So I'm really happy about that.
I just asked Rick about, because we did that yacht club, and
yeah.
I said everybody who's doing the yacht club contest will be doing state fair if they choose.
Yes.
And I don't apply in the same category as everybody, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Rick told me that, and what was the other guy's name? The older guy? Tom McFarlane. Tom McFarlane. Yeah. He said it too. And but as you know, I'm a different kind of performer. And
sure.
I'm not exactly state fair type material.
It's the horns.
It is, yes.
The horns.
And the pitchfork and the tails and the
yeah,
eating babies on stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say, and that goes back to the contest thing there. What we were talking about earlier is that I was asked very politely and very nicely by Rick Phelps, who, he's actually a great guy. Rick is a great guy. Yep. And he said, please don't use...
Great guy.
He's a great guy.
I don't know if I go with great guy.
He's a great guy.
I don't know if I'd go with great guy.
I'll go with...
Okay guy? He's an okay guy.
I'll go with my personal...
Rick manages to say some pretty stupid things from time to time.
We all do.
Rick pushes the envelope with a volume of stupid things one person should be allowed to say in one day.
Really?
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, he does.
I still don't mean
he's a good guy. He's not a great guy. He's a good guy.
All right.
Okay, it's okay. I consider him to be a good guy. Why
don't that be our first call? I consider him to be
a marginally autistic great guy. If we can put the moniker of marginally autistic great guy on there, I'm in.
All right,
I'm on.
We're gonna go to the phones on this one.
Really?
All right.
I don't have a call right now. I don't have any calls.
Mental telepathy hour at the Extemporadio. Look, I'm just getting a message from Steve in Connecticut. He said that Rick is a great guy.
Steve said that. Steve said that.
Here's Betty from Oconomowoc. Wow. She agrees with you, Brendan.
Marginally retarded. Marginally autistic. Great guy.
But I had been asked nicely not to push any buttons or, at the yacht club.
Yeah.
And I, for the first time ever in my 9 years of doing comedy, I went a whole 5 minutes without using any vulgarity, without being blue, without being controversial or trying to...
And yet,
now, Rick says, like the FCC, don't use the three majors.
Right.
F,
yep,
uk, ak, unt.
Yep.
Please don't use those. And I said, can I do my abortion bit? And he says, well, what do you mean? And I kind of explained it.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, that's quite all right. So what I'm allowed to talk about is ripping a fetus out of a womb with a coat hanger and a dirt devil, tossing it into a dumpster.
Yes.
And the outrage that comes with it. But I couldn't use the word, the three words that are involved in the process of making that fetus to throw it in a dumpster.
Correct.
And I find that kind of funny.
We have a real problem. One of the worst things I do is I like British sitcoms. And these are shows that run in prime time in Great Britain, where there's one scene in a show where not only do they use any myriad of swear words throughout what we would consider, what Americans would consider vulgar. In one scene, one of the doctors on this show called Green Wing, he's acting as a model he's a nude model in a painting class, and there's a number of people that take the class and they paint him. Well, his visage is in a 4-foot by 6-foot painting on a wall in this woman's office. Completely full frontal nudity of this guy, a painting of him that would never make it on TV. Barely on whatever the late night after dark channels are. It would have a hard time getting past that. They would have to make some argument with with the FCC for a broadcast channel. Like PBS sometimes will show some artistic thing at midnight that they say, well, okay, that's past the general viewing hour and things like that.
Right. What falls under the guidelines of artistic with PBS? I mean, would bestiality, pornography be considered artistic?
I don't know if they, I don't necessarily want this to turn into the political debate of what public television does, because it's the most ridiculous excuse for wasteful public spending.
But if you do it in black and white, then it's artistic. If I blew a horse on television, it's black and white. I'm an artist.
Then it's noir.
Not a depraved lunatic who's trying to...
Right. That's right. Yes, that is correct. So it's we just have these weird standards that, so our good friend, the marginally autistic great Rick Phelps,
it's going to be his new moniker.
I'm going to introduce him that way from now on everywhere I see him. I am absolutely introducing.
It seems like
him.
you should get a top hat and a cane to go with that.
Without a doubt,
a little monocle.
Yes, and a drool cup from the 1740s.
He can borrow mine.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if he can grow that good of a beard, and so he's told you that you're not available for State Fair, that State Fair's not available for you?
He said he had to look into it, because he wasn't sure now. But they had repeatedly offered State Fair. I think Rick was just scared to say yeah because, don't forget what happened last year.
Scared to say
I was going to originally not do State Fair. I have no intention of wanting to do State Fair.
Sure.
Because, like you said, it's a hell gig, and it's not worth...
It's a hell gig, and it's not paid.
Right. I can go to Chuck E. Cheese and not worry about, having less restrictions on me. And so if I were to... Because last year we had that riot at State Fair. Remember that?
It wasn't necessarily a riot. It was just an unprovoked
Well, it was
attack.
84 to 90 to 100 black kids running rampant through the neighborhood, beating the crap out of white people.
Right.
That's kind of a riot.
No, I don't think it's a riot.
Oh, well, when does it become an official riot?
No, I just think that's an unprovoked attack.
Oh, okay.
I guess riot's just the wrong word. Because riot implies that people are staying in one spot, breaking stuff, in reaction.
Well, because the riot, the LA riots, it's not like they threw a brick through the window and just stood there and stared at it, grinning and high-fiving each other.
But in reaction to something.
Yeah, this was in reaction to something. This was a reaction into stupidity. People are trying to politicize it. And it's not, you can't tell because they don't really have anybody who's saying what the motives truly were.
Right, that's why I'm trying not to define it.
But it was still a racial type of incident.
It certainly was.
And therefore that would cross the lines into
some sort. So it's a race riot.
No, because
yes, it's got to be a race riot. If that's your definition.
People weren't fighting back. Then that would be
a racially motivated riotous
act would be perfect to say that. Yes.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the same people from the River West area that had done that one at the gas station, the smash and grab and jump and beat everybody around.
Last 4th of July.
It's very possible it was the same people.
Sure.
Once you get a mob like that together, you don't want to disband.
Right.
You want to, you're just getting your rhythm and your groove with destruction and hurting people and everything like that.
Exactly.
You want to keep it going. But since I remembered that incident took place last year, then I decided I want to do State Fair. Because I got a few things to say about that on stage.
There you go. And we're going to come back to that when we come back. We're just going to take a little break here. And holy cow, we're going to talk about important things here on Extemporadio this week.
Förlåt att jag är sen.
I met a boy last night. When me and the girls were out, it was peace and love, a festival downtown in my hometown. And it was music, and it was people everywhere. When I saw him standing there, it was the cutest thing that I had ever seen. I fell in love last night, and I was dancing the whole way home. I fell in love last night, and I was dancing the whole way home. You sat down by the table and you said hello, and I said hello, hello. I was blushing by your presence, 'cause you were so damn beautiful. And you had that long dark hair like in the 70s, and I said, boy, I dig your style. And I got his number on a tiny little paper, and he said, please call, please be a part of my life. I fell in love last night, and I was dancing the whole way home. I fell in love last night,
That's Miss Lee on Extemporadio here on riverwestradio.com. And that was they were their first-time entrance this year at South by Southwest. Oh, I guess last year, 2011. And a great little band out of Sweden. And so if you remember what the heck was it? The Apple iPod commercial with the people dancing around with all the colors and looking just like a typical iPod commercial. It was called Bourgeois Shangri-La, and just trying to pull that up here real quick, and I think I did. But yeah, it's it's one of those little we try to freak you out from the shocking graphic perspective, and then the very simple perspective. But you might remember this little ditty from the Apple commercial for the iPod. No. They're all dancing around with their little iPod things in their head.
I don't get to watch TV much.
Oh, it's a few years ago.
I've basically been out of it.
What's that?
I've been without a TV since about 2008.
Yeah, there you go.
I get to watch them in like hotels and, for my parents and other people.
Yeah.
But I don't get to watch them like high as hell as I would like to.
Really? Is that the...
it's the best way to watch TV.
It's the best way to watch TV.
It's the best way to do anything, really, is...
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That was the commercial back in the day. Ugh.
Nah. I don't remember.
Of course, it's not the actual whole commercial. Anyway, there's our advertising spot for Apple this week. I try to pump that small little, mom and pop operation out there in California. Cute little place that it is. Just
maybe if we can get the word out, people will buy their products and they can actually succeed.
Give them a little hand. Yeah. I saw an article this weekend about those poor little Appleites and little apple cores that they are, little seedlings that they are. They were complaining about how little they get paid. And my response to that is, quit, get a new job.
How little do they get paid?
The starting wage inside of an Apple store for a retail salesperson is $11.75
and they're complaining?
$4 an hour more than minimum is the starting wage. Average store manager makes between about $75,000 and $100,000. And whereas they work hard, I don't want to denigrate that. The other side of it is, though, there are tons and tons and tons of people in the Apple store in terms of employees. Is that us?
I think it is. Maybe not.
Oh, yeah, no. Nope. That's just the phone ringing back through the microphones. So, thanks for not calling. Hey, if you do want to call and check in with us here tonight on riverwestradio.com, dial 411. Nope. 414-935-2951.
And if that line's busy, dial 911. That's the alternate line.
That's the alternate line here. That's awesome. Wow, I put something in my phone and I have no idea what that is. That's not us. I swear to God, that's not us. Answer the phone back there. There's people calling, wondering if Eine Kleine Nacht Mixen Vixen is in tonight. They need to know if that fabulous old German porn is available. This is an awesome place.
I think they're doing it to mess with you.
Yeah, because it would have dropped. If I would have dropped it, if it was us, it would have just hung up. So we were talking about State Fair and race riots, and that you have a bit about that, and that there was going to be a problem with you telling that at State Fair? Was that their concern?
No, it's not implied yet. They're just truly afraid of allowing me to be over a microphone in a public place at State Fair
with their name on it. Yeah,
right.
I'm sure that's a problem.
I've been known to get into situations.
No, I think that's all overblown.
Yeah, I think it's completely
it's
overblown.
all hyperbole and just
metaphor.
Yeah. It's just mountains, molehills, and stuff like that. But they they have I specifically put together a set last year there that I thought would work out just fine, and it would have if you could have heard a word I said.
Oh yeah.
It just, a horribly inadequate sound system. But this is where I go with the mildly autistic great Rick Phelps, is that for whatever reason, Rick Phelps was the MC the first week. I have a personal affinity for Rick Phelps. I think he's a heck of a guy. I really like him a lot. I've never not had an enjoyable conversation with him when we've been away from the stage and away from an event.
That's what I'm talking about. The great Rick Phelps is off stage and just hanging out and talking to him one-on-one. He's a
totally cool guy.
Right.
But if you possess utterly zero presentation skills, if you possess a memory that has a span of approximately 3.5 seconds, and the walk from the place where you've got your notes to the stage is approximately 8 seconds, why would you volunteer to host? He literally, I watched him introduce 9 performers. He completely butchered the names of 9 performers, 4 of which were members of his own club that he sees every week. Now, I love Rick Phelps dearly, but when you have someone who just blows it like that, like can't get a name right, period, don't have that guy host. It's a pretty simple thing. There's 16 members of the club.
I love the entertainment value of it.
That's not an entertainment value to me. He's supposed to be innocuous. He's not supposed to be that. And because they're dealing with some fairly because people who've been in this for 9 years, and I'll cop to like 4.5 years. I just won't do just everything anymore, is what I've really come to, is that I just won't just do every show. There was a show at Pride Fest this past weekend.
I heard about that.
And a grand old time was hand by all. Was there any pay for this? Well, no, you're just helping out this guy. I will not do that unless there's either a serious benefit factor to it, but why should I give away free my blood, sweat, and tears, my hard work, just to go perform at a place where arguably there were 4 people there on Sunday night for the performance? There was a better crowd on Saturday and a slightly lesser crowd on Friday, but we're talking crowds of like 15, 20 people. Well, the weekend before, I did a show in front of 18 people, right in that range, and I got paid $200 for it because that's what I should be paid.
Here comes Mr. Jason Evans.
As just in case his wife wanted to know where he was right now.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't know we were putting him into the witness protection program.
Oh, I don't know.
She an avid listener?
I wait for people to nod me in that they want to be a part of the show before I force them to reveal where they are.
I thought he did every Monday. He was
first and third Mondays. This is not a week, is it? It is not. He may join the show anyway because
he will join the show because he's Jason Evans.
Because God dang it, Jeff Lampton and I are running out of things to say. We just can't think of anything to say. We've barely taken a breath. It's just been this, yeah. So we'd like to catch you up on all that is the mildly autistic great Rick Phelps.
I was hearing a little bit of it.
Okay, good. So
I asked you if you wanted to do State Fair.
What's that?
I've come here to ask you on his behalf to go on.
Yeah, this is awesome. No, there's a point where you reach in this, where I don't want to say you've given enough, because I'll do a benefit show. I certainly will without a hesitation. But that's my pay in that case. My pay is me performing for the benefit of that person.
Right.
and that they get to collect the money from it for whatever, we can get for it. I won't just give that away for no reason. And when you're up against such great, ridiculous odds of it being a terrible show, or the likelihood that it's going to be a terrible show, rather, I just choose not to put myself in that spot. And I think that's a better way to go. I don't know.
I take it situation by situation. Like if it's a friend putting on a show, they don't have money to pay. I have no problem doing that. If it's a bar just putting on a show, just like the Blue Pig, John at the Blue Pig, a friend of mine, went to high school. They're having trouble getting their business off the ground. I wouldn't take a dime from them to perform there because that I want to see him succeed. And it's not charity because I'm not saying, it's just a,
It's kind of charity.
No, not really.
It's pretty much exactly the definition of charity.
No, because charity would be saying, come out and all the proceeds from the door are going to John and Heather. It's basically saying, we're putting on some entertainment show tonight. Come out and spend your money on drinks here instead of going to the place down the block because we want to see,
Okay.
That's not particularly charity.
Okay, but you're getting paid because he's not going to let you pay for drinks.
Correct.
He's going to probably pop a pizza in the oven for you.
Yeah.
So you're still getting some form of compensation for
it. Right.
Now, sometimes that can be a very low amount. I have consciously made a decision just because of the overhead now that I'm carrying to put on shows and things like that. I probably won't do a lot of shows that way. I also have no friends. So I don't have to run into that circumstance where a friend would have a bar that I might have to go help out. And I'm not above helping out a show. It just has to have a reason. And when I see a for-profit business like the one that's running the show for Love of Laughter, or that's running the show that Love of Laughter is appearing at, they're there. They're selling a chicken plate for $13.95 at the state fair. So I know food cost. I grew up in the restaurant business a little bit. I know that they're making clear about $3-4 on that chicken plate.
I'm going to say more. I'm going to say a lot more.
The rental in that spot on that corner is pretty high. I'm actually giving them a fairly wide berth for labor, for spoilage, for rental of the spot. It's more than the square footage of a retail store. It's very expensive to be on the grounds at State Fair. So I'm going to give them that. But I'm going to say after everything, free and clear, net profit, $3-4 a plate that they're making in there. All right. So I stood there at the counter waiting to place my order last year. There were 34 people in line ahead of me.
Okay.
In that 15 minutes, that's $100 they made. So that's $400 on food sales alone per hour that they made while our little show was going on. That does not include any of the alcohol sales that are at about 70% net profit. So they can't kick in $200 to the Love of Laughter Comedy Club, say thank you for bringing all these people out and putting on this show, organizing all this? Nope, they can't. Well, then I can't perform there.
Are you for sure that they're not getting money?
Yes, I'm sure of that.
Sure of it?
I'm sure of that. Yep. Because that was my first question. How much are they paying you guys? Well, nothing. Well, I'll participate. Because I first was going to say, well, how much are you paying? Hey, sorry, Rick. That's just a joke, buddy. I'm a comedian. That's what I do. Yeah, money from State Fair, right. So, yeah. So I started the conversation that way, and then just let it. I said, so if there's a way to get some money for the Love of Laughter, I'd be interested in doing that, and just nothing. There's no way. I still just love the negotiation point. We'll probably get you the second dinner. Shut up, man. Just you autistic crazy person. Just knock it off. So anyway, that's my disposition on it. Your circumstances, they don't want you because you're too controversial and too big of a risk for them. I understand them wanting to protect something. I understand your relative inability to censor and to control yourself.
Doing a great job tonight.
You are amazing. This is what I'm going to just send a tape of this show to them and say, see, look, you could have Jeff Lampton. Look at how controlled he could be. we'll see about
but
that.
We know damn well that if I step foot on a stage at State Fair a year after,
without a doubt,
a big incident like last year,
Absolutely.
that I probably wouldn't be keeping my mouth shut.
Wouldn't want you to. Wouldn't want you to.
Just Gatorade in that bottle.
Yeah. Oh, Gatorade and urine. He's got to stretch his dollar somehow.
Exactly.
So, that's one of those things that just kind of gets me is that they're put in a position where they can't afford to take a risk. The restaurant doesn't want to take a risk, and we live in this. We just want to have this. I get so fed up with the notion that we're free. We're still so just handcuffed to our puritanical roots that we're just never going to be free. We're just not. And now we're willing to give it up for cheap airfares and a false sense of security. So,
who's got a false sense of security in this country?
Well, you believe that we're keeping the terrorists at bay. That's what we're doing. We're the terrorists. We've whipped them. We've taken them back. All the wars are being fought not on our soil. Not on our soil. We did that for you.
Doesn't sound like Obama.
Of whom do you speak? Do we have a new president? I couldn't quite tell. I haven't seen him really do anything.
Speaking of President Obama,
yeah,
we have a major issue being announced from the Supreme Court this week. It was supposed to be the verdict was supposed to come out today.
The healthcare one?
Yeah.
Obamacare?
But they decided to let it go until Thursday, the day before a long weekend holiday, which ironically happens to be Independence Day weekend. And they're going to come out and give their
I don't think they did
verdict.
that on purpose.
I think they
I don't
did.
think they did that on purpose.
I think they held off.
I think it's purely coincidental.
No, I think they held off to wait for the Sandusky verdict so they wouldn't get upstaged by that. And then Arizona came out with theirs today, so they didn't want to be upstaged by that. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow and Wednesday?
So are you saying, Jeff Lampton, that the Supreme Court of the United States stages the release of its information for the best political effect?
Yeah.
Wow. Breaking news here. Breaking news on Extemporadio. We've never read the disclaimer tonight.
Oh, we have a disclaimer?
Wow. Shoot. All right, I should read the disclaimer. Thanks, Jason Evans. Okay. Is
there really a disclaimer?
7:50 on Extemporadio here on riverwestradio.com. Welcome to Extemporadio. My name is Brendan O'Day, and I'm the producer of this show. The things you will hear over the next 1 hour and 5 minutes represent the views of Extemporadio and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, callers, and River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program. Thank you. That's the...
well, that was a lovely speech.
Sam Caban read that in a very effeminate female voice last week that was absolutely tasty. It was a... Welcome to Extemporadio. My name is Sam Caban. He just...
I don't even know who that is, do I?
I don't know if you've ever met him. Sam, he was at a few of the shows over at Stage Right at the open mic on Wednesdays.
Did he used to go by a different name?
No.
In comedy?
No, he's not a comedian. He was just an audience member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
A little brown dude from Puerto Rican and Mexican descent, and yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Well, he was the only one at any of our shows, and I'm sure you were at several of them. He hung out with this really super tall guy, and
I don't usually take a racial poll when we go to the how does the show go tonight? One Puerto Rican / Mexican guy of descent, some sort, was good. There were two black guys.
You're a comedian who's supposed to be observant of his surroundings, and if you choose,
I don't see color.
If you choose not to see color for any, so how did we get into that being a race riot then? You didn't see color. Did you just see a bunch of West Dallas teenagers beating people up?
That's all I saw.
That's
I
all
was
you
told
saw?
by the media that they were African American. Otherwise, I would have just have assumed that they were angry white kids.
So. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that was the case at all. I don't think it took the media to tell you. But well, that's the way that goes.
The opinions expressed.
I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. So it's the views expressed are the sole responsibility of Jeff Lambton and nobody else. So back to State Fair, back to the hypocrisy that is doing shows in the public and in open air areas. That's I don't know. If you go there, if you accept their free food, if you accept their ticket into the place, you have to accept their terms and do their crap show in front of a crap audience with crap acoustics, competing against bands that are, 5 feet away from you through a vinyl bannered wall and
fighting out for the REO Speedwagon.
Funniest thing I've ever seen was Andy Bolton do his the first 5.5 minutes of his set to My Sharona. It was awesome. It's just it was awesome, and it was almost like as he would take a pause, they would hit with My Sharona, and it was just like, oh, the timing was just perfect. That was pretty horrible. And one of the most awful things to have to watch.
In that case, get as drunk as possible or as high as possible. Just get yourself so out of your mind that you don't even know what you're doing. And then,
is that another plausible deniability factor? Are you trying?
No, it's just a fun entertainment thing sometimes.
Well, yeah, but what does that do for you in terms of now they have a beef against you because now not only did you know the terms going in. But you circumvented those terms by getting ridiculously drunk or high. So you've shown yourself to be not only a person who doesn't respect the conditions of the venue, but also a raging drunk and unreliable. So it doesn't do anything for you. At least you can get out of it is if you show up on time and do the stupid show, you can put it on the credits that, oh, yeah, I did Wisconsin State Fair. So
I honestly wouldn't want that on my list of credits.
Well,
I'm not looking to do it for the credits.
What are you doing it for? Then why do you want to do it?
I think it would be the perfect backdrop to do a bit about the State Fair.
But you can't do that there.
I can.
Well, and get your mic clipped and then go through that ridiculous nightmare. And then what you've done is lied to those guys at the Love of Laughter Comedy Club, at the Toastmasters Club, because you said, no, yeah, I know all the terms, I know all the conditions, and I respect them, and I understand what you're trying to get done. And then you go ahead and circumvent them.
The conditions are nothing to do with making a social commentary on the incidents of last year. It has to do with using the language and everything like that. And
I would agree with you.
It would be more than appropriate for me as a comic and as a comic who does social commentary to talk about that at the State Fair. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that's why they're not booking you there?
No, I don't think that's the reason.
You think they just think it's going to be dirty?
Yeah.
Really?
And possibly controversial.
That is further evidence in support of the mild autism of the great Rick Phelps.
It's not Rick's decision. He told
you still have to go audition. I love that.
Yeah, he said that. He said you had to audition. I thought that's what the Yacht Club was the audition.
No. Nope.
Didn't they tell us at the Yacht Club, Jason, that everybody who did that set at the Yacht Club that night was given the pass to do State Fair? Multiple times.
Sign up too.
Exactly.
I think you have to go back and check that out. I think you have the right to audition.
No, he said that we all had spots at State Fair.
On the breaking news page of MKE Funny, I have all the information there.
See, there you go. You can only hear it here on Extemporadio, where the host of the show.
You can't hear it because he's way over there.
Well,
Jason Evans is going to be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour tonight, and but that's great to know. So you actually technically have a spot. So would you be willing to just flat out lie to the mildly autistic great Rick Phelps and say, yes, I'll do a nice clean set. I'd love a spot in your hokey, ridiculous
I will
show.
do my best not to use any of the words they told me not to use, and I'll do my best not to make
guarantee it. I will not use any of those words.
I can never guarantee that.
Why not?
What's that? Not in. I said twat. That's the only way, and I only said the word twat.
That's pretty far. We can't use that here. That's
why?
Because you can't use that.
Well, I got a list, but I meant to say swat. That's what it. But Darryl Hill had said it before me, and the crowd shut down. So it was my duty as a comic to mention it afterwards. That, like, wow, you guys got it quiet.
So you referred to it,
right?
That's
and then
hilarious.
And then I got an applause break on it from the same people who shut down while he was saying it.
Sure.
So
that's typical.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Wow, that's. Yeah,
but yeah, I tried to go without swearing, and but I wouldn't. I'll sit right up here, right front. If you book me at State Fair, Tom and whoever may be, I'm doing a bit about the episode last year, because
yeah,
because I won't be getting booked, obviously.
Well, and I think that's.
I don't like State Fair, to tell you the truth. I can't stand State Fair.
Well, I think that's a fair. assessment. I don't think anybody likes State Fair.
No pun intended. Do you really?
Yes, I love the cream puffs.
I love the cream puffs, but I don't like the.
Well, you can only get them there.
Yeah, I don't love them that much, you know.
So wait.
Yeah.
So your love of cream puffs is so complete that by default has you loving State Fair.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I hate Summerfest too. I don't know about you, but I hate Summerfest.
Me too. Yeah.
I just can't stand either one of them.
Yeah. I go to German Fest for the underlying racism and
the annual oven bake contest. Right?
The whole that whole feeling of at any moment somebody could have their rights taken away, stripped of them, and be repositioned into a train car somewhere. I just feel like that's.
Wouldn't that be great if they did have a train going through the grounds at the time? Like let's be realistic.
Whoa, that would be rough.
That'd be fun.
Exactly. Holy cow.
Is there a piano in
Yeah, there's a piano back over there. But hey, it's straight up 8 o'clock here on Extemporadio on riverwestradio.com. This is Brendan O'Day, my guest hosted with Jeff Lampton tonight. Joining us in the 8 o'clock hour is going to be Jason Evans of mkefunny.com. And stick around. We'll be with you in just a minute. Enjoy this interlude from the Butthole Surfers.
Nice. And that's the band.
I'm flying.
Hey, that was Who Was in My Room Last Night, and we're joined here. Wow, some microphone's feeding back a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
Is this recording?
It is right now. It's recording to the World Wide Web. You're on a thing called Ustream right now, and yeah, what are you gonna know? What do you know about that?
Is he live?
He's live. He's joining me here on the program, and
what's your name, buddy?
Keegan.
Keegan?
Should I put these on?
Yeah,
you
put
can
them
those
on.
Can you hear me now?
You
hear
want
me through
your
there?
mom to get
Yeah.
some pictures of you? You got a phone to take some pictures of him?
You're on a program called Extemporadio. What grade are you in there, Keegan?
Second.
You're in second grade?
Well, I'm going into third.
Going into third. Are you enjoying your summer so far?
Yep, I might be moving down to Green Lake.
Wow.
Where's
My
that?
dad is it's a little bit like either south or east of Appleton.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just
my
out to
dad is going for district attorney there.
Oh my goodness. There
Oh,
you
boy.
go.
Yeah.
So if he wins the county race down there, he'll be moving down that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
moving up there. There he is. Look at that.
No, my dad, well, I live in Appleton, but that's my uncle and my aunt, so
Okay.
they brought me
Hanging
down
out
here.
for the summer.
Yep.
Couple of days anyway.
Yep. 3.
Awesome. So what's your favorite thing to do in summer? Do you skateboard? What do you do?
Probably biking, going on trails, and swimming.
Awesome.
Also soccer. I like soccer.
Do you have like a favorite pool up there in Appleton you like to swim at?
It's probably Herb or Mead Pool.
Okay.
Mead Pool has
You even
a
got those
giant
down.
slide.
Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, they didn't have slides at pools when we grew up. They were called unsafe. And now they put you guys on twisting, turning slides
Yeah.
but they make you wear helmets for everything. That's a crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you pee in the pool?
No,
No? Come on. Everybody pees in the pool.
I don't.
You don't? You're the only person who's never peed in a pool? I see you looking like, yeah, you did.
Wow. You have my permission to just sock him right in the arm. You can just punch him right in the arm there. That's amazing. Wow, thanks. That's crazy and uncomfortable. Way to go.
Well, how's that uncomfortable?
awesome.
Have you ever peed in a pool?
I don't think I ever have.
You're a
I've peed in
liar,
lake.
too.
I've peed in a lake.
Oh, then that's different.
It is.
How's that?
Like it was a 50-hectare lake.
What is a hectare?
That is like 990 yards by 990. I think it's 990 meters by 990 meters. I think is what it is. And it's ridiculously huge. And this was a deep, deep lake, like 80 meters deep. So, dude, we're talking significant water volume difference.
So your urine was diluted in this lake.
I wasn't even equating the amount of urine as the fish population in that lake. So I think therein lies the difference. There's already a fairly significant population peeing in that lake.
Keegan, do you think he's peed in a pool before? You're the judge.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
No,
Another
you know,
good Irishman, we would not lie about peeing in a pool.
yeah, Irishmen are honest.
Honest to a fault.
How many drinks have you had?
Honest
One.
to a fault. You didn't give me a time frame. Last 5 minutes, yes, 1. Of course, not lying. Good lawyers too. So
How many people have you? Never mind with the IRA.
Well, Keegan,
yeah.
let's go back to Keegan here because we only got him for a minute here. So you're going into third grade. Do you know who
Yeah.
your third grade teacher's going to be?
Not yet.
Not
They
yet?
Don't tell me until like the
big
first
secret.
month of school. You can go into school and see this big board.
Oh, sure.
Shows your classmates, your teacher. Yeah.
Sure.
What's your favorite subject?
Probably reading and writing.
Yeah, you going to be a writer? What are you going to be?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna be a computerist, a professional soccer player, possibly a writer.
Awesome.
Stuff like that.
Very
Who's your
cool,
favorite writing? Who's your favorite books?
Probably Harry Potter. I'm on the 5th.
Oh,
Holy
are you
cow.
really?
That's
Yeah.
awesome,
High five,
dude.
man.
That's some deep reading too. Do you go through and every word that you don't know, do you write it down then go look it up later? You working on that?
Well,
I think that's probably why my kids hate reading. That's what we do when we make them read, or when they have to read. Is they have to write down all the words they don't know.
I'm pretty good at the words, so I've never really messed
Haven't
up
run into
any
any?
words. Most
That's
of the
good.
time I just sound them out, or if that doesn't work, then I just like split them up into parts, then I say the parts, then I say them faster and faster and faster until I get it.
You got a method for everything. That is awesome, dude.
What's your favorite word? Do you have a favorite word?
I don't know.
No?
That's one of those fun things to get, is to get yourself a word. Mine is egalitarian, and sometimes pronounced egalitarian, but I think you have to be kind of an elitist to say the word egalitarian.
He can be a bit elitist and pretentious over here sometimes.
Go. Yeah, a little bit. But it's either that or soap. I don't know. I just like soap.
Soap is a great word.
Great word. So, well, Keegan, thank you so much for being on our program tonight. Nice to have you here. Good luck up in Appleton.
Okay.
And that's God darn it, guys. That's what happens when you're sitting here at River West Film and Video on River West Radio. You never know what's going to happen. We'll be right back. There's a couple of quality moments of Jane's Addiction from Nothing Shocking. That was Keegan in from Appleton, Wisconsin, hanging out with his aunt and uncle, and Jeff Lampton always managed to pull up the just slightly inappropriate.
What would be inappropriate about that?
No, it's just, you're talking again. It's a child, and you're bringing up a bodily function and a from a genital area. Now, if you just said, have you ever spit on a girl in class?
Yeah, that wouldn't be awkward.
No,
and uncomfortable.
way less awkward than talking about whether the little boy pees in a pool, man. Come on now.
Yeah, it's...
You realize this is 2012, right? Let's go, buddy.
He's back.
Still here.
Keegan, were you uncomfortable when I asked you if you peed in a pool? Did that make you feel nervous and embarrassed?
See, there you go.
I apologize then. I sincerely apologize.
People like to say that you have the mind of a child, but they're wrong.
Yeah, apparently I know.
They're just wrong.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So there you go. But that was great having him in and letting him kind of get that moment of seeing what the real live radio show is like. I mean, I remember like Cub Scout troops and school trips to different production facilities. I know that's what drove me into a lot of stuff. Yeah, too cool. But
what did he say?
He's lost a tooth. We're gonna do the do the full Keegan biography before we're done with the show. This will be awesome.
You lost a tooth in here or?
No, this morning.
Oh, this morning.
Well, actually, last night, probably at midnight, it fell out.
Wow.
And, I was laying on it when I woke up.
So does the Tooth Fairy then doesn't have a late night delivery system that information processing service?
I woke up. I mean, it fell out probably at 1 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
It fell out with it poking into my leg.
Yeah, she probably already had the docket filled out. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of other stuff going on.
What's the Tooth Fairy paying this year?
I think it's $100.
Is it? Yeah. Thank us later, Keegan.
Oh wow!
So you're hoping some inflation has crept in a little bit,
basically.
driven that money up?
For this one?
Yeah.
The one before this?
Yeah.
I had to get taken out because
Okay.
when I was like maybe 4 or 5,
Okay.
I hit it on a slide, so
Oh yeah.
I had to like.
So that one got pulled, but
I got pulled out.
do you remember how much you got for it?
$10.
$10.
'Cause,
Oh my gosh!
'cause
All right, I hope there has not been any more inflation creep.
I think Walker needs to bust that union, the Tooth Fairy.
for other people, but not really for me.
Okay.
Since
You're kind of a tough guy.
for all the other teas, it probably hurts a lot.
Sure. Well, that's awesome. Well, there you go.
$10.
$10.
$10.
It's amazing.
I'd almost go out and have kids just so I can have them teeth.
He's now pimping himself to the radio show. No, that's great. I don't think I ever gave one of my kids more than $1. Like when the dollar Susan B. Anthony's were available,
Right.
that was like the totally rad cool thing. Was I put $1 under the pillow, and so my kid, of course, took it to school the next day, and showed everybody. And this girl was like, "I got $5. I got a $5 bill." And that's way better than $1 coin.
Well, it is.
It's like, well, yeah, but geez, I mean, come on. This would have been like almost 20 years ago.
Cough it up, man.
So did you go back to your son's school and like pick her up and put her in a burlap sack and like take her out and like beat her around? Like, how dare you put this into my kid's head?
Yeah, that's what I would probably do.
I would. You have to these days.
Yeah, you got to
with
shut
kids.
down. You got to shut
Yeah,
down that kind of disinformation campaign.
Exactly.
Going on. Yeah, you want that? You want to snuff that message out. That kid, she doesn't exist anymore. She's just done. We're done with her. So, yeah. No, that didn't really, I didn't do anything like that. I never did such a thing ever in the school district in Wausau, Wisconsin at the Lutheran grade school. I never did anything. I never absconded with a kid. I never took a kid out and put him in a burlap sack and beat her until she stopped spreading rumors and lies about
The Tooth Fairy?
the Tooth Fairy.
Well, there's your problem.
I just use it as a teaching tool for my kid. I just said, hey, if you were better, maybe you'd have gotten more. Clearly, the Tooth Fairy's willing to cough up more money.
That's a horrible thing to teach your child.
Oh no! Talk about a game changer. I go, look at your mouth. Look at how much money's sitting in there. You're going to lose 16 of those things before the Tooth Fairy gives up on you. That could be $16, or Or it could be $90.
$90.
$80. Your problem, your choice. It's all your choice, my friend. Your choice.
These days, though, if that happens, then President Obama intervenes, and we have to get at least $5 for every tooth. It's the right thing to do. It's
like he's in the room.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Welcome to Extemporadio. My name is Brendan O'Day, and I'm the producer of this show. The things you will hear over the next 40 minutes represent the views of Extemporadio and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program.
I forgot we're in River West. You can't speak anything other than messiahically of Obama.
No, we've had our own spirited discussions about the foibles and failings of the current occupant of the White House. I think he just continues to prove every day why he doesn't need a second term, because if he's just going to continue to do the things he's doing, there's been nothing.
I don't think so. That's okay, though.
You're in there.
That's fine.
I'd give you another shot.
If you want to.
Sure.
There's that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just think he's done everything he possibly can to
Thank you, sir.
indicate that he shouldn't have a second term. It's kind of like when Ray Rhodes was coach of the Packers.
Oh, there we go.
That's not going to work.
That might not work.
You want mine?
I'm gonna see.
No, that's okay. Hello?
Anything?
No, that's okay. No problem.
Wow. All right. Well.
I don't need to listen to myself. I'm not conceited like that.
Those headsets. The reality is he hasn't really done anything. The things he's accomplished and pushed through or not pushed through have been kind of ridiculous.
Really, I hadn't noticed. I didn't notice at all.
Really?
Nah, not at all.
Well, just this whole notion that I think the misconception among the populace is that Obamacare or whatever form of nationalized health care is that it's going to be like everywhere else, like Canada.
Yeah, it's not free health care.
It's not
People
free
don't
healthcare.
get this.
And here's one of the things that really bugs me is there's a lot of people that I was reading a pair of editorials on Sunday just talking about how people are so misguided in how this won't change at all. Well, here's the most significant way that it changes. If you don't have health insurance in this country when this takes effect, and you choose not to participate because either you can't afford it or you're not working, you become a criminal.
Yep.
It started out as $1,900 a year opt-out fee. That was the original number. And I'm like, where am I going to find $150 a month to opt out of the healthcare system?
I thought that was strictly for businesses who did not offer.
No.
It's because the $2,000 fine is.
No.
It's down to $700 right now, I believe, right?
No, it's up to $7,000.
Wait, what?
It is up to $7,500 is now the opt-out fee. And if you don't pay it by tax time of any given year, you face, it used to be a $5,000 fine and 6 months in prison. They've changed that. $25,000 fine and up to 5 years in prison for failing to pay to not participate.
That, I don't know if that's 100% accurate.
That's the last thing I heard.
I don't think that's accurate anymore.
I don't want to go to jail.
Well, your health insurance won't change. Your health insurance won't change, young man. Little boy in the blue hat.
I'm just saying.
It's Jason Evans of MKE Funny joining the Extemporadio program here.
Hi, Jason.
Hey.
Should I read the disclaimer again?
No, you don't need to read any disclaimer. I just wanted to say that my car is losing 1.5 quarts of oil a week. I'm living the dream.
Yeah, that's about right.
I wanted to catch up real quick on a couple of the subjects that you had. I had a couple of things.
Go.
Is that okay with you?
Go.
Okay. Chicken dinners at Greek Fest were $17.
Wow.
Yeah, they were worth it though. But I'm just saying that. I just wanted to mention that because you were mentioning chicken dinners at Summerfest, or at State Fair Park. I also wanted to say that I have peed in many pools.
Okay.
Usually, if I'm feeling like it, right next to the person, if I can, like if I don't like them. And my favorite.
No, you don't like them.
Well, because they dunked me or something like that. I don't know. You know, how do you figure out if you don't like somebody?
Fair point.
Maybe, I don't know.
There's numerous criteria under which you could.
And you were talking about favorite words.
Yeah.
Yes, my 2 favorite words are pulp and suckle. Those are my 2 favorite words.
Suckle.
Yes.
Suckle.
Those are my 2 favorite words.
Suckle's the kind of word that you can use pretty much your whole life. There's good application for the word suckle most of your life.
And it's FCC okay.
Hey, we changed the angle on the podcast there on the internet. Now we're getting before. There we go. Look at that handsome guy.
Wow.
Look at that, man.
That's cool. Jeff, did you say what your favorite words are? Do you have favorite words?
I have favorite words I'm not allowed to use.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. That's all right.
I do like the word plethora.
I like that one too. That's a good word. That is a good word.
That is a good word.
That's wonderful. I just wanted to catch up on what you guys were talking about.
Thanks for
wanted
your
to make
input.
sure. I just wanted to put some
Pretty
input
awesome.
in there.
Your input is valuable.
Yeah.
Should we just start randomly calling strangers out of the phone book and asking them their favorite words?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Not good times.
I mean, we could. There's one chink in your armor there, to not be racist.
Yeah, I was going to say, welcome to Racist Radio here in River West.
A chink in your armor is a dent in your armor.
Oh, I thought you were saying that it was a...
Simple-minded.
I know.
Is that there's no such thing as a phone book anymore. So we can certainly look up in whitepages.com.
There's phone books. They're starting to stop delivery of them. I cover that.
Yeah.
Do you cover that in a joke?
I cover that in my set.
Do you cover that?
Mm-hmm. It's very important. Yeah. Just wanted to let you know again.
Backbone. So let's do this. Let's take a 414. And anybody have a favorite prefix in Milwaukee? Like a 727.
529.
529 is a good prefix in Milwaukee. Okay, Jason Evans, give me one number between 1 and 0, or 9, 0 and... I looked right at the thing here. Yeah, I guess it is, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So give me a number between 1 and 0 on my keyboard.
1.
Jeff Lambton.
Let's go with 0.
0. And Jason Evans.
Another one?
Another one.
0.
Okay, and
I'll go with 1. Let's sandwich the zeros.
Let's see who's the palindrome tonight. All right, let's see here. Why is that picking up every bit of sound in this place?
I don't hear the phone ringing.
I haven't dialed it.
That's why. This is the kinks that the Jerky Boys didn't want you to hear.
Is that?
Are they calling us? Are we calling a psychic place? Or were you going to call us?
I don't think that's us.
Oh.
Well, we're going to... Whoa. Hello?
I don't know what's going on. We can't even do phone calls. Things are feeding back through the phone.
That's not good.
We're feeding back completely through the phone. So, and I don't want to call them from this phone because that'll just look too.
If I had my phone on me, I'd do it from my phone, but I forgot in the car.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to work with like a full headset thing. And, yeah. Should we do prank calls? No, this is not a prank call radio show. We're not 12 sitting around your dining room table and your parents are out at a movie for the night.
What's wrong with that? You act like it's something wrong with that. That was a great way to pass time as a kid.
It was when you were 12.
It was.
It
Same
was
with throwing snowballs at cars. That was fun also.
And eggs.
And eggs.
And rocks.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Now is what I want to hear is a funny
I was a
story.
fat child as a kid. Obviously, if I'm a child, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
And I used to keep a lot of food in my bedroom, and I kept M&Ms in my bedroom for a long time. And when M&Ms get stale, they harden as a rock, like a rock. So my friend took my slingshot with the M&M and shot it at the streetlight, and the streetlight busted.
Okay.
An M&M, man.
Nice.
Wow. And you know why we did it?
Because you were kids and you had nothing.
No, because no one stuck us in a bag and took us out back and beat us like Jet Lantern was saying.
Okay.
That's why.
Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you that candy-coated shell
packs a punch, man. Especially when you put
post-nuclear.
Especially when
a hell of an invention.
Especially when you put it behind a slingshot.
Start stockpiling your weaponry. That's going to be your rounds of ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 9/11 hijackers used race box cutters and M&Ms.
And that's why there's no M&Ms on planes anymore.
That's
why there's no M&Ms on planes.
Yeah. Jesus. It all makes sense. It's all fitting together.
Full circle. It's all come full circle.
What are those guys that don't believe 9/11 happened? The
Conspiracy
truthers?
theorists?
No, yeah, but there's a
Truthers.
Truthers. Call the truthers. Tell them. Let them know.
Are you a truth?
Oh, you bet I am.
Do you think that 9/11 was an inside job?
Absolutely. No question about it.
Who did it?
Don't care.
Yeah, we don't need to have full details in our conspiracy theories. We just need to throw out parts of it. Like, hey, I think
8:30.
Who bombed Pearl Harbor? I don't know.
It's 11. No, it's 11 years ago. I was much more up for this fight about 6 years ago. I'm less up for it today because the official. I just actually, it's kind of funny. I lost my copy of the 9/11 Commission report and all the various moves that I've made over the last 4 or 5 years. And I was at a rummage sale down the south side, and there it was on a table.
Yours?
Yeah, it was yours.
My copy.
You cover that in your set.
I covered that in my set. There was a copy of the 9/11 Commission report.
That's a callback.
Wow. And Comedy 101 with Jason Evans of mkefunny.com. There it was, and it was $2. Sitting right next to it was a copy of the Hillary Rodham Clinton book, basically the whatever it was.
Takes a village.
Girls Gone Wild.
No, he cracked you up. No, the thing with the seduction of Hillary Rodham was when they converted her.
Seduction of
That's
Hillary
disgusting.
Rodham Clinton.
Yeah, it's a really great book, actually. It basically details her.
I want to know, where did you get this book, The Seduction of Hillary? There is no seducing Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I've been trying for 35 years.
I tried everything. I tried cigars, interns.
Oh, boy.
I cannot get those pantsuits off.
Wow. That was $1. So I ended
That
up
was
buying,
overpriced.
I ended up buying the Hillary Rodham book, not the CIA faked, FBI faked, congressionally faked 9/11 Commission report.
That Hillary book was probably nothing but fake too, like put out by her.
It's pretty good. No, it was it's not written by her or her people. It's someone else's assessment of her rise to where she got, and all the various people she basically used along the way to get there. It's a pretty decent book.
Unfortunately, the majority of the words in that book should be one of the words we can't use here tonight.
Well, what are you going to do? She's a runt of a girl. No,
Who won't suck a rock?
That's right. No, she shakes hands in a rock. So she just. I could, I just don't. Like I said, I just don't have the energy to go through the whole. It's just.
We should just go back to an easier topic, like what's your favorite word?
Or did you pee in the pool? Or I mean, do you really need a lot of energy to be able to read the Warren Report and find its many flaws? I mean, shouldn't you have basic ideas in your head as to who's behind it already?
Well, no, take the Warren Commission.
Okay.
Just take that. Is there anybody when Peter Jennings went on TV in 2004 to do his thing on the Kennedy assassination, and basically to say, look, those of you that think this was a conspiracy, you're just wrong. He's literally that patronizing through the whole process. At a time in history, in 2004, when 67% of the population firmly believes that there was more than one shooter in Dealey Plaza that day in Dallas. So why does Peter Jennings and ABC News and the Paley family, who's connected to, you can follow those connections to whatever connection through the Rothschilds, why do they bother in 2004? Yeah, there's a band.
Are we getting our own rim shots?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Why? Perfect timing. Why do they think? So my point is, if we all basically can sit here and agree that the Warren Commission report was a bunch of crap and nothing but a bunch of lies, and that the Kennedy assassination was not Lee Harvey Oswald, was a bunch of other people involved, why can't we? Why is there such reticence to believe that the official story on 9/11 is something other than more government spin and cover up? But here's who it is. If you want to name, it's George W. Bush, and it was his turn to get his turn into the family. That's where he became a made man.
But here's something that I have. In 1995, I was hired at the airport as head of security for the airport parking structure, second shift manager, supervisor of the second shift. And we were called in every once a week in the meetings with the FBI and the FAA, inside operations, and we were giving out classified handouts, which stated that Osama bin Laden specifically was going to target America. This was in 1995,
correct,
during the Clinton administration,
right,
that unless Ramzi Youssef was returned and let go, he was the original bomber of the World Trade Center in '93, yep, that they were going to hijack airplanes and they were going to crash them into buildings, right, in the United States.
Right.
So how, therefore, can you blame it on Bush if this was being let out during the Clinton administration? And the Clinton, when I was hired, I was told I would have the job for at least 1 year. 1.5 months into this top secret program and everything like that. Not top secret,
top secret
but
program?
It wasn't top secret.
The
but
parking structure at Mitchell Field?
Yeah, we had to tow cars constantly. We were pissing people. I almost got ran over by a pissed off Canadian.
Cool.
Because we had to profile
That's
the
horrible.
vehicles. But the fact of the matter is I was in those top secret meetings and we weren't allowed to talk about those.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is Clinton called that program off a month and a half into it, stating there was no clear and present danger anymore. They weren't worried about Osama bin Laden.
Right.
And yet 6 years later, under the Bush regime, it happened. So how could that be George Bush's fault if during the Clinton administration this was already put into plan? Was George Bush...
When's the genesis of the relationship between the bin Laden family and the Bush-Walker family?
But how would you have tied it in with Bush had it happened during Clinton's administration?
Wasn't going to happen.
Clinton had Obama, Freudian slip, bin Laden 4 times for sure that they've reported, but they had more time to take him out. They could have taken him out, but he refused to order the kill shot because he didn't think he was a threat. Why then didn't he take him out then?
Because you can't take out your most valuable scapegoat.
He wasn't. They weren't a scapegoat at the time.
Yes, he was.
No, because at the time the only thing they had really done. This was before the USS
You're only going back
Cole,
to 95.
95.
Let's go back to 75.
What did bin Laden do in 75? How many thousands of people did he kill in 75? He didn't. How many? Up until then, I mean, his kill factor was pretty low.
But the director of the CIA for 19 months, starting in 1975, was a guy by the name of George Herbert Walker Bush.
And
And his good buddy that was running cocaine for the CIA was the attorney general of a small southern state called Arkansas. While his family, Herbert Walker Bush's family, was in business with the bin Laden family in Saudi Arabia.
So in 1975, George Herbert Walker Bush concocted this theory that 26 years later, we were going to have you bomb the World Trade Center. We were going to have you attack the World Trade Center.
No, that comes in the early 80s, about another 6 years later. But George Herbert Walker Bush's hands got bloodied on November 22nd, 1963, when he was not in Dallas, but he was in Dallas.
How does that relate to Bin Laden and the 2011 conspiracy? Like, we knew it was a conspiracy because back in 1963,
he's a convenient scapegoat.
Bush is a convenient scapegoat.
No.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bin Laden is a convenient scapegoat. He is simply the black sheep of that family that was deeply in business with both Zapata Oil, Zapata Offshore in the 60s with Herbert Walker Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush, just off the shore of Cuba. His family then gets into business in Texas with George Herbert Walker Bush's son and George Herbert Walker Bush by extension.
I think you just like saying George Herbert Walker Bush.
I'm just trying to differentiate the two idiots. But if you want to be trusted inside of a crime family, you have to get blood on your hands. George Herbert Walker Bush did it in 1963. His son did it in 2001.
Okay.
And they kept the black sheep of their business partner's family around as a convenient scapegoat. Because how come in February, after years of the United States government trying to track down, even though we knew his every move, even though he was listed as a CIA asset, even though he had to come in to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for kidney treatment, how come we were never able to pick up and interrogate Osama bin Laden? We didn't want to.
We didn't pick him up and interrogate him in the end, did we?
It took CNN 5 minutes to arrange a meeting with him, to go in. And what did CNN do? They came out of that meeting, it's arguable that that's a completely falsified meeting, and came out and said, there's going to be an attack on the World Trade Center in the next 3 weeks. Guaranteed by Osama bin Laden.
That was prior to the 9/11 attacks.
That was in February of 2001.
Right. So
they were setting him up to use him as the scapegoat.
So what does the Bush administration have to do with the Clinton administration dropping the ball on that? Clinton Clinton could have went in
1992, George Bush is running for president.
George Bush lost that race.
He did, but what was his approval rating in July of that year? 90%.
I don't recall.
How does he lose an election in 4 months to one of the largest landslide victories in history?
I will. Can you Google that? Because I don't believe his approval ratings were 90% in July of 1992. I think that's. I don't think there's ever been a sitting president who's had 90% approval rating.
He did because it was Gulf War 1.
Even the Messiah who's in office
Gulf
right
War
now
1.
doesn't even have for fun. What is it? Down to.
Oh, he's
36.
never been over 60%.
Exactly, and he's basically the coming of the second coming of Christ.
Not even the same scenario.
And
You
Bush
got to
has
take
been
yourself back to
holding.
1991 to Desert Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf, Norman Schwarzkopf, and good old Colin Powell, his black general. Oh my gosh! Oh,
Right.
we're the Rainbow Coalition going in over there in Iraq.
Rainbow
He was beloved at that point. But what he also knew is if he won the election, he was immediately going to be impeached. George Herbert Walker Bush was going to be impeached because his role in the Iran-Contra affair from the 80s was clearly becoming more and more developed, and it was becoming more and more obvious that he was the guy behind the whole
Are these
thing.
documented facts through some source other than Wikipedia or Alex Jones's website? Because
You can check the Democratic leadership of the Congress at the time that said if George Bush had been, Henry Waxman, I think is who the quote is attributed to, said we were preparing impeachment documents because Caspar Weinberger was found guilty. And then immediately in 1989, when Bush assumed the White House, immediately was
well, they were just looking to impeach somebody because the next president they ended up impeaching. So whoever the next sitting president was going to be was going to get impeached.
I have something to say. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say
How am I going to buy cherries this year? I read in the Sunday paper on Sunday that there is a cherry shortage in Door County because of the warm weather.
Bush.
I'm not paying
£500,000 this year.
I'm not paying $18 a pound for my cherries this year.
You might have
I'm not going to do it.
You might have
they need to subsidize this because I saw pictures. All right. And there was one cherry on the vine. There's usually a group of 3. Something's going on, man. How's Door County supposed to survive off less cherries? They have cherry wine, cherry berry sauce or whatever. There's a lot of cherry stuff up there.
Well, look, back in 1963 when George Herbert Walker Bush went cherry picking, he knew that in 2012 that there was going to be a crop shortage.
Well, I thought it had something to do with George Washington.
How does a podunk governor from Arkansas go from complete non-existence, leading a state that's 48th or 49th in any measurable category in the country, become one of the most charismatic 2-term presidents ever in history?
I don't know. Why don't you ask Obama that?
Why would I ask Obama that?
Because he went from being a nothing and a nobody to being the free leader of the free world.
True.
So basically they're in the same category of sell your soul to Satan.
Slightly different but similar. There's a slight power shift that occurred at the end of the Bush administration, but he's simply just another tool.
Don't forget that Clinton's approval rating was spiking. It was like
they're
blood
all
sugars.
tools.
I mean, they loved him, they hated him, they loved him, they hated him.
Right. But how does he get there in the first place? He's not so much elected as he is anointed. Because you remember a little guy by the name of H. Ross Perot? Hey, everybody, I'm H. Ross Perot. I'm the little crazy man from Texas. I'm really here to screw things up.
Right.
Without his 10.5% of the vote, George Bush wins 51 to 49.6%. It's a tight race, but he wins.
But that none of that matters because you're talking popular vote. None of that matters. Absolutely none of it matters. What matters is the electoral vote in that. That's what decides the presidencies, not the popular vote. The popular vote is the biggest ruse.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm
Jeff?
saying, but you're sitting there talking about the 51 to 49%. He's getting this many votes.
If you lose Ohio by 1 vote because the guy voted for Ross Perot instead of George H.W. Bush, you lose all 39 electoral votes in Ohio. You lose them because you lost 1 vote. So the 10% of popular vote that H. Ross Perot garnered took enough states away from Bush to win the election.
The popular vote has nothing to do. That 10% has nothing to do with anything.
It has absolutely everything to do
with
it.
Electoral
What are you talking
college.
about?
The electoral college has nothing to do with the popular vote.
It has everything to do with the popular vote. Do you understand how this fucking works?
FCC there,
Thank
child.
you very much. It cost me $1. I know.
The opinions expressed by
No, listen.
Can you read the disclaimer in the
There
Ross
are 2
Perot?
million eligible voters in the state of Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 million eligible voters. If 1 million vote for 1,000,001 vote for Obama and 999,999 vote for Mitt Romney, Obama wins the state of Wisconsin.
In the popular vote.
No, yes, he does, but he wins and he gets 11 electoral votes because he won the popular vote.
No.
Yeah, that's what he wins. He doesn't win 1,000,000 votes. He wins 11 electoral votes.
Electoral votes come from the people we elect into office 2 years prior through the senators and the Congress.
What are you talking about? That determines the number of electoral votes. That doesn't determine who those votes go to.
They get their say. They're the ones who ultimately have the say. Yeah, they do.
What are you talking about? You win the state, you get the electoral votes. You win the popular vote in the state, and you get the electoral votes.
No.
Absolutely.
Then I have been misinformed and completely not understanding the concept of politics since I was 16 years old, because that's what I was taught in high school.
You see, you just weren't paying attention.
I know. Apparently not.
I still want you to read the disclaimer in the Ross Perot voice.
Which is why you can win an election 51 to 48 or 49 and still win all the electoral votes. And you can win every state. Because if you don't get the majority in any given state, all the electoral votes go to the winner of the state.
Are you Googling this? Something's not sounding right from what I've been taught.
If you'd like to read it, you can do so. We're off the air in 6 minutes. I need that to make... you're going to knock cables out. You're already kind of pulling stuff. I need that purple cable out of the computer. Can I just pull that?
Yeah.
Thanks. So go ahead and read that. And while Jeff learns about the Electoral College and how it works, we're going to just try and wrap this down. It was a spirited discussion, but the reality is the connection between Bill Clinton and George Herbert Walker Bush precedes their presidential contest by approximately 17 years. They had been buddies for 17 years before they ever met up against each other in an official capacity as combatants for the office of the presidency. Bill Clinton, in my humble opinion, and this is only the opinion of the producer of this show, Brendan O'Day, was that he was handpicked to run and to win because they knew they could control him because they'd been controlling him for 17 years. So that's what's underlying my dark and angry demeanor is this knowledge that everything we do here is just wasteful and just a gaffe. It's just a laugh or just here as a joke.
It's very uplifting.
Isn't it? So what is your favorite word other than, you mentioned it before?
You forgot already?
I did.
Pulp.
Pulp.
And suckle.
Suckle.
You got to say it right. You got
suckle.
Suckle.
Suckle. I'm kind of in love with that word.
I actually have a lot of favorite things. I have lists and lists of stuff. Like I have a favorite natural disaster. I have
let's see, the favorite natural, I'm going to say earthquake?
Tsunami. Yeah. Tsunami.
Just because of the word?
Too soon? No. Because of the power. That second is the hurricane because it's just huge.
Yeah.
And winds go one way, then it whips you back the other way. I like that. It's kind of
crazy.
It's extremely destructive.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the list of that.
Got a favorite ice cream cone?
No, but I do have some of the weirdest things I've seen. I have lists.
Favorite weirdest thing you've seen?
Yes. I once saw a cowboy boot birdhouse.
Okay.
Which was pretty amazing.
Sure.
Dual purpose.
Okay.
I don't think you could wear it afterwards, but you could still, it's still a boot.
You could. You just have to have a sort of, you have to have a certain tolerance level.
Mm-hmm. I once saw a man try to board a bus I was on naked. That was interesting. They didn't let him on, though, because obviously he doesn't have a bus pass. And if he did, you wouldn't want it anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
nice.
That was a weird thing I seen.
Nice.
I once smoked a cigarette with a clown in a parking garage.
Okay.
In full clown gear.
Nice.
Which was actually a prized moment in my life. If I would have had a camera, I would have taken a picture because that's one on my list of things I want to do before I die. Along with watch James Brown perform live, which I did before he died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same list.
All right.
How about you? You got any lists?
I try not to keep lists.
No? I have full things of lists.
I used to have lists, and I was so bad at getting anything off my lists that I just realized that I am not a list person. I'm better off executing project by project and not letting things gather. And part of it is, I think, my tastes change
Well, the lists can change. None of them are
right, but
solid. I mean, they're your list. You can do whatever you want with them.
Yeah, I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a time thing. Maybe it's me going, I don't have time for that.
Well, I just got to kind of bookmark it in my head. I mean, I don't like write them down.
You don't?
No, absolutely not. They're all in my head. Absolutely, they're all in my head because they've been there.
Wow, you thought about them. That's awesome.
I definitely have. One of my dreams to do on my dream list is to toss a midget, which you can no longer do in the United States legally. So I'd have to travel to Europe.
To toss a midget.
Yes, that's a true fact, too. You cannot do it here.
When you say toss a midget,
do you want to know what it involves? He puts on a full Velcro suit with 2 handles on the back.
Okay.
And on the other half is the opposite side of that Velcro in a curtain type thing, which they hang from the ceiling to the floor.
Okay.
You grab him by his ready-made handles on the Velcro suit, and you swing him as hard and fast as you can.
Now, do you do this hammer toss style where you spin?
No, well, you can, or you can just
okay.
heave-ho.
Like you're shucking him out of the bar because he had too
exactly,
much
but he has built-in handles, too, so it's even easier. And some of the things have bullseyes on them.
Nice.
So you just heave-ho him, and when you let go, he spreads eagle and sticks to the wall.
Nice.
But like I said, it's unfortunate because they don't make much money. That's a great way of income. I would gladly spend $50 of my hard-earned money to do that one time.
Is that what you do?
I would definitely do that.
Nice.
For maybe 2 tosses. 2 tosses, I'd do that.
That is that's how we're going out here tonight, folks. On Jason Evans' dream of midget tossing.
One of them, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Extemporadio. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Check us out on the World Wide Web at Ustream and at extemporadio.com.
Right here it says that you get the state's electoral votes, but the state's electoral votes come from what they've been voted into through the elections in Senate and everything else.
No, you get the electoral votes based on the number of those people.
Right.
Not by them, not votes by them.
But it goes by.
So if you're in California, the reason California has 48 electoral votes, that's because they have 46 representatives in the House of Representatives and 2 senators. And that's how you determine the number of electoral votes they have. This is so deep. You're going to sorry, it's going to fade out on everybody here, but thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We'll talk to you another time. See you next Monday. So that's where the number comes